someone that matters. I'm just joking.
Damn.
That's what she says.
Christiana, blink if you need help.
She doesn't like her birthday. That's what she says.
I feel the same way because I don't really like celebrating my birthday either.
I'm like big about celebrating people's birthdays. I like people's birthdays. Wait, when is your birthday, August?
My birthday is May 24th.
Oh. Do I know that?
I don't know.
I do
What
now.
was your birthday again? I forgot already.
September 18th.
18th, okay.
Yeah, the best
Are you
day.
a Virgo?
I am a Virgo.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
What are you? A Cancer?
I'm a Gemini. Damn, you called me a Cancer? Am I really that emotional to you?
No, Geminis, though. I don't normally like Geminis, but that's interesting.
I hear that a lot.
One of my favorite people.
Me?
Yeah.
Hey. Thank you,
I'm
Jordan.
adding your birthday, because then if I forget it, I'll be sad. Okay. All right. Welcome to Two Guys Unfiltered, a podcast where trans people share their coming out stories, the funny ones, the hard ones, and everything in between. I'm Juju.
And I'm August, so whether you're trans, questioning, or just here to learn, we're glad you're here. Our guest today is Christopher. He's a trans barber based in Texas, and he talked about his coming out story and toxic masculinity in the barbershop. Now let's get into it. All right, Christopher, if you can you introduce yourself, your name, your gender, and your pronouns, please?
My name is Chris. My pronouns are he.
And then in the form, you said that your hobbies included traveling and going to concerts. Can you tell us more about that?
Ooh, I guess I stuck to the whole concert scene because I remember being like 13, 14 and my mom not being able to afford all of that back then. So like growing up, I started working at 16 and ever since, I think I've been in the concert scene. It's like my happy place. Kind of like where you're working a lot or you're around like so and so energies all the time and you need to breathe. Well, that's what a concert is to me. Like when I'm there, I just kind of vibing with the artist, the music, people are there in the room with you to enjoy, the same type of music. It's really cool.
Definitely. I haven't been into many after COVID. My kind of concert life stopped.
No, you can actually for artists. Like, I have a long list.
Definitely.
The one that I love to play at the moment is Adele. So I'm a big concert guy. Yeah.
Was there a specific show that you remember that kind of sparked your interest in being
Ooh,
a concert goer?
um, Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
I love Demi Lovato. I love them. I really do. And I saw them in 2014, and ever since, and I've been following them for quite a while. So every concert that they have, I go. If it's
hmm
in Texas, I'm gonna go.
I saw that they performed with the Jonas Brothers recently. That was cool.
I know. In there.
Was it just
Uh,
like that type of music, or is it like other genres of music?
I'm into everything honestly except for country. I can do
yeah.
Latin, funk, but a country guy.
I try, but I can't. The best I can tolerate is Beyonce's Cowboy Carter, and then I'm like, that's where I draw the
Yeah,
line.
yeah, but that's
Not Beyonce. I don't like
No?
Beyonce enough. No.
Damn,
Not at
hater.
all. I used to like her, but then I got over her real quick. I don't know.
yeah into Bay, but it's like August is saying, that's the most country-ish I could.
hmm
Yeah.
And if
And
you
so, what
could
would you
build,
say? Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
if you could build your dream lineup, what would it be?
My dream lineup, be dead or alive.
Yeah.
Um, my absolute top favorite is Michael Jackson. So, if it'd be a combination of like Justin Bieber, Michael Jackson, and Demi Lovato, dude, I'm good. I'd be good. you know.
That's
I
an
was
okay
gonna hear
combination.
some rock or something.
Uh Sirens, Tears of Evil.
Hmm.
They're but I mean I'd have to stick with those three. Like for sure number one, Michael Jackson, number two is Demi, and maybe number three in the pop genre would be Justin.
All right. I was never a Justin fan.
Mm-mm. No, me neither.
You either?
Mm-mm.
I was One Direction, a
Nah.
little bit of Big Time Rush, a little
uh,
bit. But now they're like so cringy now.
yeah, I
I
could
don't
do
know.
Harry. I
Yeah.
think Harry, the best one from 1D.
Zayn.
Oh no.
Zayn. All the way.
No.
All right. So we'll get into it. Can you give us a summary of your coming out story? When did you transition? And then if you have, obviously, we can see. When you started hormones.
Um, so my coming out story roller coaster just because, like I first came out when I was in middle school actually. And so from there on, I kind of started noticing that it was not just like being bisexual and the cis woman itself. I remember when I was in eighth grade, which I believe would be more around like 13, 14 years old. And in high school, ninth grade, that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, you're not a woman, like you're a man, right? I started going by this in ninth grade, and I actually tried different names in freshman year, but it just wasn't me. And so I stuck with Chris for a minute, and I ended up liking it, but my mom was kind of like in denial about it, so I kind of got like shoved back in the closet for a couple of years, and then sophomore year I joined a cosmetology program through the school district. Um, not story. Mm, it is a nice man. He actually got outed by the directors of that cosmetology program. I was talking to a girl from that same course, and putting it as a female and female relationship type of thing, even though I had already disclosed, like, you know what, like my name is Chris, or you can call me like my last name. I do prefer like he and him, but I'm totally okay with like be them if you like, he him, you know. Um, but they ended up calling my mom, because I got caught kissing this girl, and it was just really messy. They called the cops and everything because they wanted to suspend me for it. It was just that scenario where the director was a gay man himself, a white gay man. And I remember telling him, like, you don't even know what you just did because you don't know if I'm safe, right, in my household.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the reason why my mom initially decided to shove me back into the closet. Like, you have no idea my life. How do you know if I have a roof under my head tonight? You have no clue. And I just remember him telling me like, "Oh, trust me, I understand," and I don't know what. But the reality is, like, as much as yes, we are in the same community, and yes, maybe our struggles are fairly um the same. For trans people, I feel like we have a lot more to lose because of
Mm-hmm.
that, like, stereotype of like, well, they stop being this person, and the thing is, this person, I'm still me. I just changed the outside of myself,
Yeah.
to match feel and whatever I deserve to be born.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there is that conception between me and him. And after that, it was just school district, kind of picking on me, and I had to call contact ACLU because we're like I couldn't even use the restroom. I had anybody. Um, they wanted to switch me classes so I wouldn't be with this particular girl and any of my friends. So at that point, it kind of turned into isolation for me. Um, it was just really messy. Eventually, I ended up dropping from the program because I couldn't. bit. Um, and then my relationship with my mom over time, it kind of got worse. I was 18, I had hormones, and I didn't tell her. I was still living in her house, but I just knew that regardless of being 18, I just knew that she was not going to approve. But I didn't want anybody to stop me, and so I just went to Planned Parenthood, and I, had my appointment just 10 days after I turned 18. That was the closest thing that they had, and I was 3 months into, and I was still, oh, I, I'm getting sick. Mom, like, off or you know, trying to kind of be smart about it, but she ended up going through my room and she found all my syringes, my hormones, like a bunch of my personal stuff. Um, hurts, my body. Those are things I had attempted to hide for my safety, right? Like I
Mhm.
couldn't allow my mom to see all that, my binder, things like that. And so what happened was that after she found out, I out and I was kind of depending on living in my car and having to cross the bridge to Mexico to spend the night with her family. Um, which they were really supportive at that time. Um, but just kind of reflecting on it, looking back at it, it was really, really hard. Like an 18-year-old to be having to, go in high school and work, taking care of like the car and living in the car. Sometimes having to cross back from Mexico at 3 a.m. because I have a shift at 7 a.m. And like because it's a border city, we do have a lot of like people that cross on a daily basis for work in school. At work on time. Other than that, I would be fired late. So there's days where like I have to carry my toothbrush with me, my toothpaste, and just go to a Whataburger and like wash my teeth in there. Like it was just really messy. It was one of the toughest moments I really was.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot for an 18-year-old to handle on their own. And
Yeah.
then adding the layer of you starting testosterone and just being a trans man, a Hispanic trans man at that, like there's a lot of
Now,
changes that happen. So,
yeah, exactly. Like puberty, because that's what you're actually going through. Like
mhm.
it's all over again. Um, and like all of these feelings and thoughts, they start changing once you start hormones, right? And I guess at the time I didn't realize how much my way of thinking or reacting to things would change.
And was there something that someone should have warned you about starting testosterone but didn't?
Um, Honestly, I think it was like the anger that comes
Hmm.
within, like the way that you react instantly to something very, very small,
Yeah.
maybe not even significant enough, but it causes a reaction from you. And I, to this day, I still have trouble like controlling that side of me because I think that nobody was talking through it initially.
Hmm.
Um, Now I'm kind of like going through all the emotions, like being upset. Another thing that I guess I didn't realize was how hard it was going to get cry. I can't cry. It takes a lot for me to
Same.
cry.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. It has a opposite effect. I cry at any like anything
really.
now. You put the saddest movie on and I'm bawling my eyes out. I started crying watching Building the Band, and that's like a music competition show.
Oh, I wish it was like that scenario for me, just because like I could be having the most depressing day and I can't even hear. And so what can I do to release all of these emotions? And then there's not much that I.
Yeah, because sometimes you do need to just cry it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but it's.
you can't. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was something probably I never really thought about either. Like I didn't think I wasn't gonna be able to cry at all, but like maybe like I'll shed like a tear here and there, like if something's really sad or like I'm mad, but that's about it. So it's
Yeah,
weird, very weird.
frustrating. It's frustrating.
And were there any moments while growing up that you think back and you're like, damn, I should have realized this a lot sooner?
I have this big memory of me like my mom used to do like ponytails and like braids and all of that. So one time I think that I had like a braid here, because you know all those typical Mexican braiding all through the
Mm-hmm.
head. I completely chopped off one of them, and I had a bald spot like right here in the front of my. Um, why did I do that back then? I have no clue, but I just knew that it wasn't making me happy, and I wanted it like gone, and so I
Yeah.
did that. Another thing that now I recall was like the fact that we put on dresses, for like family events or anything like that. And sometimes my mom would be like, "Oh, like you lipstick, here you go." Like she would put some on, and then when picture time came around, like my face was just straight, like just angry, and I was not enjoying anything.
I don't know. I find myself more and more like maybe it's because we're like listening to a bunch of people's stories and stuff like that, but like I'll start to like think about my childhood and then like I'll just like remember random things and I'm like, oh, that makes sense now, or oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Things that I just
I
like forgot about or pushed to the side or something.
now that I just had a memory unlocked right now. When I was in elementary, I remember like had I've always been surrounded by women, right? Most of my friends right now that they're women, just because of the same thing that I grew up living as a little girl. But I was always very like I wanted to take care of my girlfriends, like I wanted to leave them like notes or like, hey, you're sad, okay, here you go. Like I got you some chips or like a toy, something. Like I was always trying to take care of somebody. And now looking back, it's like, okay, you're wanting to be a provider, which is
Mm-hmm.
nowadays like you do see like the man being the provider of the house and whatnot. So I guess it makes sense. I was already like having the thoughts in my head
Yeah.
without anybody even like telling.
Yeah, like that role was ingrained into you already.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
automatically. I,
And would you say coming out was like a single process for you, or was it like more of an ongoing thing?
I think it was an ongoing thing. Just because I had to convince people, but it was sort of like situation where they were kind of like, I don't know, like, especially my mom. So it took a lot for people to. And I think I had to like, continue coming out time after time. You know,
Yeah. Do you still have a relationship with your mom now?
I do. Now
Okay.
I got an apartment with my girl back in 2020, and so it's been like a good 5 years now. But my relationship with my mom got way better after we both separate
Mm-hmm.
races. Yeah,
Yeah, had time to figure it on your guys' own time and without your
yeah,
presence being there 24/7.
definitely.
Yeah, I feel like that helped my transition process as well. Because I did the same thing as you. Like, I was in the house and I secretly started testosterone. I would do my shot at my fiance's apartment, though, because she lived at like school dorms. So I could hide everything there. And then the same thing, like, you can only hide a cold for so long. And then
Yeah,
they were like, why the fuck are you want to be a man? And I'm like, well, shit, you figured it out. Like, well, duh, you're 6 months on testosterone now. Like, what did you expect?
but
Yeah, right. Um, but how did like the other people in your life react? I know you said like your girlfriend's parents at the time were accepting and let you stay over. But did you have any friends or like how was your coworkers' reactions?
well, my friends right now, I mean, the closest friends that I had, they're still in my life. The small group of people that I was like elementary, middle school, maybe like freshman year of high school. I don't really talk to them because like I think that it's them respecting the fact that I'm trying to navigate with like I guess being a man and trying to have male friendships rather than just like girl friendships. And a
Hmm.
lot of boyfriends get insecure when their girl is talking to like a man. You know what I mean? So I think that now, since they're all like in their relationship, it's kind of hard for me and them to be that close again. So you know, we all have our lives. We're all navigating it. I don't really blame.
Hmm.
Workers, they've always been respect. Right now at the barbershop, and um, I'm not sure if everybody knows. That's something I didn't disclose. Some of them do know, but they've never really, said anything. One of them thought it was cool. Yeah.
Good though. And what would you say has probably been the most affirming or joyful part?
How I transition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like yeah.
Um, I think that just staring at the mirror, like looking at my own little changes. Like I remember I couldn't grow a beard. Now I'm halfway there. That's definitely like month by month. My boys. I love seeing till today like all the changes, the small little changes happening. Um, if I'm quite honest though, like the one thing that I couldn't wait was for bottom growth. Like I think that was the cherry on
A cherry
yeah,
on top.
yeah, yeah,
I was waiting for someone to bring it up.
yeah. That I think that was like one of the most gender affirming things that could have happened. Like to me, of
Hmm.
course after tough surgery, but for that, yeah.
That's
Are
fair. That's
you
fair.
thinking of bottom surgery or?
Um, Not right now, just because I'm too scared of.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot.
it's also pricey. So
Yeah,
Yeah, very expensive.
I don't
very
know.
expensive. Would you say that the amount of bottom growth you've had has subsided your bottom dysphoria, or did you have bottom dysphoria to start off with?
I think that before bottom growth, it had, like dysphoria, but after like everything not in my head anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes I do find it like a bit frustrating, right? For obvious reasons. Um, Also like the whole pregnancy scenario type of thing. But aside from that, it's not in my head on it. Just when I'm like, I really want a baby, but instead I'm do all these, and yeah, that's the only thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's just like the child relation bloodline
Yeah,
type deal, not
yeah,
necessarily actually having a fucking penis on your body, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm good. Maybe further down the line, if like science is like a little bit
Mm-hmm.
better, but not at the moment. No,
Yeah. That
I don't think.
healing process is a lot too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you go into it knowing you're gonna have complications. That's what it is for me. It's
Damn.
like you're gonna have complications. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Science needs to
you're
do something. Yeah,
close to anybody though. Like I fully
for sure.
respect it. I probably even look
Mm-hmm.
up to you, but I manage.
Yeah, definitely.
Breaking news!
In the span of 2 weeks, Oklahoma and Arkansas have had federal court appeals pass, upholding bans on gender-affirming care for trans youth. Both court rulings have heavily relied on the Scrimeti decision, which stated that since they did not discriminate against medical care based on sex, but rather on the individual's age combined with the type of medical procedure they were going to be receiving, the Constitution was not violated. It is important to highlight that by using the Scrimeti decision, both Oklahoma and Arkansas are using the lowest bar of scrutiny in constitutional law to uphold these court rulings. This proves that these appeals are not only unnecessary, but also extremely harmful for the trans community.
So in other positive news, a transgender runner, Evie Parts, is suing the NCAA and Swarthmore College, claiming she was illegally removed from the women's track team after they adopted a policy restricting women's sports to those assigned female at birth. The policy followed a Trump executive order back in February of 2025. Parts alleges discrimination and emotional harm, including suicidal thoughts. Although she was later reinstated in April and went on to win a race before graduating, the lawsuit argues that the NCAA has no legal authority to enforce such bans. Neither the NCAA nor Swarthmore College has commented.
In other good news, We Are Church, a pro-LGBTQ Catholic reform organization, has been invited to meet with Pope Leo XVI as part of the 2025 Holy Year observations, which was initially initiated by Pope Francis before he passed away. Though Pope Leo XVI has declared that marriage is between a man and a woman, We Are Church is hopeful for their meeting, as they have been persistent critic of the Vatican within the Catholic Church, particularly criticizing the Church's history of sexual abuse and its exclusion of women from religious leadership.
If you want to read more into these stories, the links to the articles will be in the description below.
And what would you say has been the hardest part of transitioning?
Oof, the hardest part of transitioning. I think that number one would be like the fact that me and my mom didn't get along for a while. Uh, Number two, in the time like I still feel like people see me as a trans guy rather than I am a son, I'm a brother, I'm an uncle, I'm a friend, I'm a barber. Like there's so many other factors to me rather than just being a trans. And like I think that when a cis guy finds out like, oh, he's this and that, like they automatically kind of like lose respect for me. And
Yeah.
oh well, he's not a real guy, like this experience and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like it's I validate my own masculinity, if that makes any sense. Um, and I think that I still take that part. If I'm honest, right now I'm going through like a situation where I'm not sure if anybody has talked about like the dating scene and how hard it is to be a trans person. But that's definitely like something that as much as I hate to say it, I have struggled with, right? Because I had like a previous partner, and I remember she would tell me like, okay, like I fully respect you, but to me, you're always gonna be her, you know. And it's kind of like, well, I do like you. Why? Let me rephrase. I did like this person, um, but but it's just not something that'll work for me, you know. Um, so I had to leave that relationship. I found somebody that when I was pre-testosterone, they've been there for my lost their job because they took care of me during surgery. Um, her mom, as much as yes, she was very helpful, and smooth and so respectful about it, but the, she stayed regardless. Like I think that I'm in the right spot, you know. But I think that those three things are kind of like the hardest part of like transitioning in my perspective. The dating, the parents, you know, just other men invalidating.
Yeah. Heavy on the men invalidating you part.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, I
definitely.
feel like you already, like, not a part of them once they find out you're trans. Like, I don't know if he'll watch this, but he's subscribed. He's my coworker now, but was my girlfriend's coworker before. Um, was introduced as like my girlfriend introduced me as like her boyfriend, right? So pronouns were right. Then he found out I was trans, and all of a sudden started messing up. So I was like, why now? Just
Yeah.
because all of a sudden you're gonna mess up. So math ain't mathin'.
The crazy part is when we all look already, a certain way, and people still call you publicly like she, her, or like your dead name or whatever, and it's like, oh, I mean, I'm not one to look,
Exactly.
dumb, right? People are gonna
Yeah.
look at you weird, if anything, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
That's what I tell my grandma all the time. Like, they ain't gonna look at me weird. They're gonna look at you weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
Like
true, and it's
it takes a lot more effort to mispronounce someone that obviously is the opposite gender. Like I
yeah,
don't
Yeah.
know.
you like, how can you still see a her, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then, what would you say you wish people asked you about your transition when you were coming out? Like, was there something like were there any discussions you feel like you needed to have with your mom prior to when you probably did have them, or are you content with like the pace that you guys went?
Um, I think that if anything, I would have liked for her to get more informed about it, just because she always thought that it was like a phase and that I didn't need to go to like therapy. Because I skipped that as well. I didn't do it. Um, and that I think that that's pretty much it. Like just be informed of like this is the reason that it is going through like whole depression, through the whole mental illnesses, and like it's not just like bullying or anything like that, because it wasn't even anything in regards to school. It was just me like not feeling comfortable, and she thought that, oh well, something's happening at school, but that was, it was happening at home. It was me reaching out like, oh hey mom, like I like girls, and then me at a later time like, hey, like I actually want to transition, um she was okay with me being a woman and dating girls. There's no issue with that. But when it came to being trans, like it was no, like that's a phase, and you know what? When you grow up, you can make your decisions and whatnot. But realizing at like 13, 14, and having to wait like additional time made it worse for me. I focused on like working since I was 16, like you said, and instead of like partying with my friends at their quinceañeras or sweet 16s, like I was doing 10, 12 hour shifts at Whataburger. So I wish that my mom truly like had that in her, wanted to educate herself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I mean, we're pretty good. Like I said, she even gave me like money for my surgeries. I mean, that meant
Making progress is always good for sure.
Definitely.
yeah,
Going back to your career as a barber, you kind of talked about how like your most of your coworkers are accepting if they know about it. Can you tell us more of like relationships at work, being trans and working in such, I guess like a barbershop is pretty masculine space.
yeah.
Can you
Right.
talk more about that?
Um, so it's kind of, it's difficult because as much as they're accepting, and like I have queer trans clientele, and even they are kind of fruity, man. We play around, we really do. My coworkers and I. But the reason it's hard is because you're there, working there working with other cis men, and you're having to hear like the way that they talk about certain things, right? The way women, the way that the relationship, view the world, um, and I guess at one point I kinda started sharing those, right? Because when you're in I guess in a place with same people and you're hearing the same thing from different men, like you start to kind of consume those thoughts, consume the energy, and you forget who you truly are. And for a while, this year, that's what I was struggling with, like separating my own thoughts and their thoughts, because their thoughts are not mine. I don't share the same views with like you said, the way that they talk about certain things. To each their own, but I think that that's one of the hardest things. Like you could fall in that, you could forget who you are, right? You could forget the way that you want to manage your own masculinity. Like it doesn't have to be where you don't like me because, oh, that's not a manly thing. It doesn't have to be like, oh, like I'm gonna tell women what to do, because that's not who you want to be, right? Like we all have the choice. It doesn't have to be just what they say, right? So working with other men, like that's definitely like you start becoming them. You
Hmm.
start forgetting you're actually a trans guy, not a.
And so how does being a trans man shape how you show up in the barbershop? Not just personally, but like as a person.
I go on social media, right, and me being a trans barber. Because I feel like it's important for people to find a person where they're gonna feel safe with, or that can have any conversations that they want. Like if you're a cis guy and you're a gay man and you want to talk about your boyfriend or your husband, whatever, their girlfriends, whatever. Um, and so I like to say like I'm not a cis guy. I'm never gonna be that. I'm actually proud of that because that makes me different. That's
Hmm.
what separates my healthy masculinity from like everything else that's toxic. I've encountered, when I was pre-testosterone, they wanted to cut my hair a certain way to where it looked feminine rather than like masculine. With me, it's that it's not that environment, not that case. If you ask me to give you everything, super bald fade, that's what I'm gonna give you, because that's
Yeah.
what you asked, right?
Yeah.
And that's my job at the end of the day. It's not like, oh well, you know what, you want a bald fade, but You look like a woman to me, so I'm gonna give you a number one. Um, my clients and I would talk about anything, and I think that the coolest thing about it is that they can do so openly, like very openly. Like all the other barbers here, like nobody cares,
Mm-hmm.
like that to judge you like that. In other spaces, there's make you stand up and leave, not even or maybe rejecting your haircut. So that's why I separate like myself.
I love that because I always so nervous to walk into a barber shop, and I feel
Yeah,
like I trust. Yeah, I still do. I go to a hairstylist instead because
yeah,
she's like does gender for me haircuts, and she knows how to use like a razor. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go to you because
yeah.
everything else feels daunting.
That's the one thing that I've heard a lot. Actually, right now I had like two people coming in from like Cali. It's just really mean, like that they found somebody they're willing to trust me, because they don't want to put up with like every other barber or
Mm-hmm.
like fade and not like just sheer work.
I just deal with it. I just go in, say hi, and then I don't say anything the entire time, and then I leave, and then that's it.
Yeah, I don't say anything either when I go to the barber. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
like,
don't say
I
nothing.
just
I'm
sit,
just
sit
looking.
stiff. Is there a moment or a memory you revisit often in your mind because it taught you something important about yourself?
I think that I like to replay a lot in my mind how I react to things. I know I've been doing that for the last 2 3 weeks. Like I played so and so scenario, and I'm like, okay, well, you reacted negatively to something that you shouldn't have, right? And that goes by hand with the whole dealing with like your emotions. I'm trying to manage my own anger, so that's what I'm focused on right now. Just being, I am that person, but at the same time, like testosterone kind of makes me like react negative to the smallest little thing. Like if I don't know, maybe I'm cutting hair and I drop something, I'm like, but there shouldn't be any reason for that. Like I could just literally grab another comb
Mm-hmm.
and pretend, So that's learning the healthy behaviors. Trying to.
Focus on the positive versus always focusing on the negatives that happen.
Yeah, yeah, learn from those.
And if you could talk to the version of yourself before you came out, what would you want him to know now?
That it's gonna happen. Just be patient. I was really impatient. There was a moment where like I didn't even think I would make it. I was mentally drained, mentally done, just not there. I didn't think that I'd reach this point, and now, right now, like I've once wanted, like it's already happening, right? Like I've always wanted to become a barber. I became licensed 2 years ago. If I were to tell me, um, 13, 14 year old self, I wouldn't believe it, but I would have liked him to, eventually it
Mm-hmm.
was, yeah.
And what hopes do you have for yourself and then for the LGBTQ community as a whole?
For myself, I really want to, my project, right, to kind of take off. Been working on it for the last year, and here's is that it's never gonna happen. Which the project is, I want to buy a mobile barbershop, just travel out through Texas because I know that nobody's really focused on anything like I am. And the fact that like I have found already like a very good like group of people. It just sucks that I'm down here like 3 hours away, 5 hours away, 8 hours away. So at that point, I feel kind of like hopeless. But I'm hoping that within the next couple of years, I'll be able to like manage and head out there, with my partner. For the community, I mean, damn, what can I not hope for the community, right? Especially right now. Uh, I'm working on a nonprofit, which is basically gonna focus on like whatever earnings from like certain events, or whenever I do have like the barbershops in every other city in Texas, some of the money I want to donate it back to like whoever needs it for tough surgery, HRT. Um, that's what I'm hoping like for the community, at least from my part. I
Mm-hmm.
can't really say much about like the government or anything like that,
Yeah,
obviously,
too much to
but
say.
Yeah, but I hope that like helps somehow. If
Oh,
I
it
can help,
definitely will.
one person, then I'm doing something.
Yeah, you can help one
I,
person, and then that person can help 10 people. So you never know.
at least I'm doing something. At least I don't feel as
Hmm.
helpless. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Even with like the way like social media is now, it's like so easy to just like support people in the sense of like putting the word out for them in
Yeah.
Hmm.
general. So even
Yeah.
that's like important. For
Even
sure.
too, like you can make money off of someone just clicking a link. Like all they have to do is click the link. They don't have to buy nothing, just click the link and then they make money. Like that's
The way that things have changed right now, with the way that you can make money, or like with the way that you could like advertise, your
mhm,
GoFundMe. It really did change, because I was using GoFundMe thing. Um, TikTok was still not around. It was Musically. I think it had been shut down for a while. Instagram was kind of like not really there for like the whole advertisement or community itself.
right.
So I had to like focus on doing car washes, cutting hair, like side jobs, or a bunch of all these. Now, like, so many people have a platform that you could share it, I could share it. It's just like a little ladder, right?
Hmm. And then how can people support your nonprofit if they want to?
Uh, right now, is the first time I'm gonna say, like, public. I am working on a website. But the only thing that I would like for people to focus it on would be like following my TikTok, because from my TikTok and Instagram, everything else is gonna get posted. The updates, whatnot. So it's just following, sharing, liking. That's how, like, right now everybody can do to help support the dream, and eventually everything can fall into place.
Fall into place? Yeah, definitely. And can you show your handle so they can follow you?
Yeah. So on TikTok, I am under trans.barber, and then on Instagram I am under at transbarber, double R in the end.
And then they will also be in the description as well if you guys are interested. But yeah, that's all the questions we had for you. Was there anything we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
Awesome. I love
Right.
this conversation.
Yeah.
Juju, you got anything for us?
No, it was a good conversation. He's a
Yeah.
good guy.
Have you
Yeah.
gotten a haircut by him before?
No, but
Or
I
do you
think
guys
he's
live too
like
far away?
not like I wouldn't say too far away, but I've definitely like
It's
thought. No,
still
I
a
think it's like 4 hours. I think it's like
Oh,
4 hours or
oh,
something
that's
like
quite a
that.
ways for a haircut,
Yeah,
though. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm really maybe because I'm gonna try to grow my hair out like before top surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a whole month off of work, so I don't know. That's a wrap on today's episode of Two Guys Unfiltered. A huge thank you to Christopher for sharing his story. If today's episode resonated with you or reminded you of your own, we would love to hear from you. Click the link in the description to fill out the form if you're interested in being our next guest.
And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.